Hey everybody, so last week I had planned to do about 4 different videos and I only managed to do one, and that is because I got sick and my voice was almost gone for most of last week. But here I am back at it again. I actually got to see a movie early and you will not guess what movie that was. I'm gonna let you try, but you're probably not gonna be able to guess. So if you guessed Frozen, you are correct, because that is the movie. It's like, I'm just kidding, yeah, it's Knives Out. And they gave me a free poster, which was pretty cool. Knives Out is written and directed by Rian Johnson and stars Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, Daniel Craig, and Jamie Lee Curtis, among many others. Knives Out tells the story of the wealthy Thrombey family. Their father and grandfather, Harlan, mysteriously dies one night, and at first it is ruled to be a suicide, but according to a private investigator, he believes there is foul play, and he investigates each member of the family to try and figure out what actually happened to their father. I saw the trailer for this movie, and the cast looked great, the premise looked great, so I was excited for this movie. And walking away, I'm gonna be honest, I was actually kind of conflicted, and looking at the other reviews that I've seen out there, a lot of people like absolutely love this movie, and I think it's good, but I wasn't totally on board with everything that happened. So let's get into it. Also, this is gonna be a very vague review because I actually don't want to give away too many details, because with this movie, there's a lot to spoil. So I'm gonna keep it very vague. So what worked? First and foremost, I thought the performances in this movie were pretty good, but for me, the standouts would have to be Daniel Craig as the private investigator, Chris Evans as Ransom, and Ana de Armas as Martha. These three I thought were the strongest to me and the characters I found the most entertaining. Daniel Craig just absolutely killed it with the detective work, but also his accent was really good. It's kind of funny that English people do a better American accent than Americans can do an English accent. But I mean, like, this guy was a chameleon. Like, he disappeared into this role. I thought he did great. Chris Evans was great as the jerk in this movie. He was more selfish. He was more arrogant. Very, very different than Captain America, which shows he really does have range. And I feel like people don't take it, or people will take it for granted sometimes how good Chris Evans is actually. And then Ana de Armas, her character was at the center of this mystery, and I believe she killed it. Her character was really well done, but also her performance was really great. Really makes you sympathize with her, and it makes you understand where she's coming from and how she fits into this whole mystery. And you also see her progression too. She goes on this journey where she really questions her morality. She questions her place in this whole situation. So I thought that was probably the strongest part of the movie for me. Going off of the performances, I thought the characters were well done too. Now, at first, when I walked out of this movie, I was like, wow, these people suck. I do not like these characters. These are so bad. But then I realized that's the point. The Thrombey family, they're very rich, arrogant, they feel entitled. And so you see all these different attributes as the movie goes on, and you grow to hate them more. And I thought they did a really good job of making me not like these people. So in that case, I thought it was successful. And then there's Ana de Armas' character, Martha, who's not a blood relative to the family, but she's very close to them because she was the father's caretaker. And seeing her juxtaposed with them, you see that she's a generally good person and she is trying to do the right thing, but she just got caught up in all of this mess. And to see her journey alongside these characters, I thought were really well done. Now, not all the Thrombey characters work for me. Again, you're supposed to hate a lot of them, but for some of them, that hate led to or added to the story at hand, but the other ones were kind of iffy, like they were just there. Now, this next point is both a pro and a con for me. It's kind of interwoven. So the mystery is different. Like, they do subvert your expectations and they reveal a lot of information in the beginning. And at that point, I wasn't totally on board. It was a little like, I don't know why this is the case or what is the point? And then as it unraveled, I was more intrigued. And I would say by the third act, when they do the big reveal of like what actually happened, then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand everything. But leading up to it, I was a little on the fence. I wasn't totally sold. But if you like movies that subvert your expectations, if you like mysteries that are different and outside the box, then I think this is the movie for you. Now, again, it took me a little bit of time to really like get into it. I was, again, on the fence. The comedy was good in some places, but I feel like it was definitely the strongest towards the end. Chris Evans, I thought, once his character entered the movie, it really picked up, and that's when I was really, really invested. But leading up to that was iffy. The family members, I thought, were great at being terrible people, and they were written that way, and they were directed that way, and I thought that was great. Now, there's also some parts where, in order to make these family members seem, I guess, more terrible, Rian Johnson gives these characters some more political views that most people would definitely not agree with. So I think that was a little iffy. Like, that, to me, didn't add that much. It felt a little more like because that's what people are saying nowadays. Like, this is what's trendy. This is what kind of things people say that are offensive or are taboo or are politically incorrect. Like, some of that stuff I feel was kind of pushed in there, and it didn't add much to me, but I thought that the relationship between the family members was interesting. The relationship with the father was interesting. Ana de Armas' character was probably the strongest part of the movie for me. Seeing her journey through this mystery, trying to help figure out what's going on, I thought was well done. And ultimately, I think I did have a good time, but at first I didn't think I did, if that makes sense. Like, I had to think about this movie, and I had to weigh what worked for me, what didn't work for me. And so at first, I was like, I don't know if I like this movie that much, but I do think ultimately I did enjoy it. The verdict. I think Knives Out is a great time. I was conflicted when I first walked out of the movie, but as I thought about it more, it did actually make sense. And I think what really won me over was the third act and the big reveal. Once they did that, everything made sense, and I was a lot more intrigued with what was going on. On top of that, there are some good performances here from Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas. Interesting characters that are designed for you to hate them, and I think that works. And it was ultimately a good time. I did have some laughs here and there, and it was just, generally, it was a good movie. It wasn't what I was expecting, and maybe that's why at first I was kind of iffy about it, but looking at it, I probably could watch it again and find something different. So I would say this is worth seeing in theaters and checking out. If you like mystery movies that don't go with the traditional route, then you will definitely like this. So are you planning to see Knives Out this Thanksgiving weekend? Well, not really weekend, I guess week, because the weekend already passed. Anyways, are you going to see it? Have you already seen it by the time you're watching this video? What did you think? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. Sorry my voice sucks. Still getting over whatever thing I had earlier. Hopefully I get to do those videos I missed last week, but if not, I'll just push them to the week after because Thanksgiving is this week, so I'm sure now a lot of people will be hanging out on YouTube unless you're, avoiding your family or something. But anyways, hope you look forward to more videos. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.